Happy holidays, everybody, and Tony here with a tribute to yet another favorite Nicktoon Christmas special from a show that I can easily consider to be one of Butch Hartman's finest pieces of work. I'm, of course, talking about The Fright Before Christmas from Danny Phantom, which aired on Nickelodeon on December 6, 2005. This episode was directed by Wincat Alcala, Kevin Petrolak, and Butch Hartman, and it was written by Marty Eisenberg, Sib Ventress, and Steve Marmel. As I stated before, Danny Phantom is one of my most favorite shows from Butch Hartman's roster, the second being Tough Puppy. But Danny Phantom reigns supreme because from the moments I saw it when I was a teenage boy, I definitely enjoyed the overall cool factor this show had, and especially all the interesting ghosts found in Danny's Rogues Gallery, as well as certain characters that managed to make me feel a sense of relatability, especially with the likes of my personal favorite characters concerned, Jazz Fenton, because of just how smart, well-rounded, and really awesome and supportive she was. Granted, Danny Phantom's third season was extremely polarizing, thus leaving a lot of fans to be completely divisive about that particular season. But in spite of all that, Danny Phantom is still a show I can enjoy from time to time, thanks to its coolness, thanks to certain characters that I really, really like, and thanks to the overall awesome environment as well as the villains that Danny has to fight. It also helps that it is a superhero show I can enjoy from time to time, though it's not as great as a lot of the heroes from the DC universe, let alone the Marvel universe. I can consider Danny Phantom to be totally enjoyable and a lot of fun to watch from time to time. And going into this particular holiday special, I enjoy it for one character. The one character who really made this particular special awesome was none other than the Ghostwriter, which I will gladly talk about him much later in this tribute. But first, how it all started. It starts off with Sam being really cheery and greeting everyone a happy holidays, and also trying to get out of her comfort zones of just greeting people happy Hanukkah or Merry Christmas, because of course Sam is Jewish, but it doesn't stop her from branching out from greeting people in different ways. However, Danny is not enjoying the holiday cheer, as he is completely dour about it, no thanks to his parents constantly making a huge scene about the mall Santa being very, very fake and Santa Claus doing certain activities that he should not have been able to do, at least according to them. It also does not help matters that the hustle and bustle of the holiday shopping and everything festive around Danny has continued to leave him extremely sour, thus making him take out all of his frustrations on a lot of the holiday trinkets, the toys, and a lot of the holiday paraphernalia that he blasts in the ghost world. And in the ghost world, especially in the Ghost Manor, we are introduced to one of my most favorite characters of all time, and especially the one who has made this particular episode awesome in the form of the Ghostwriter. I definitely consider him to be awesome because not only is he an artist, especially considering the hard work that he has put on his new book, which is The Fright Before Christmas, a play on words of The Night Before Christmas, but he is also someone I identify with as an artist. He's passionate about the works he's created. He is someone who has put his sweat, blood, and tears in order to make something happen, and do so with pride, thus making me completely empathize with him on all levels. And when Danny ended up destroying his new creation, the Ghostwriter was justifiably upset at Danny. But as soon as Danny found out that what he destroyed was the Ghostwriter's new material for his new Christmas poem, does he feel no remorse? Does causing the ghostwriter to take out all of his frustration and all of his wrath, ire, and anger on Danny by inserting him into the story that could have been and having all the denizens of Amity Park talk in rhyme. This episode also makes the ghostwriter a very dangerous yet interesting foe in terms of how he manipulates everyone in the story, how he uses the people of Amity Park as if though they were his puppets through his usage of words, especially when he types down on that machine whatever he is thinking of what the fate of every single denizen should be, and how the story should flow, and how he also controls the whole situation. It's even revealed why Danny has such a sour attitude towards the holidays. When he was a baby, his parents kept on arguing and arguing over the notion of Santa Claus's existence, leaving poor Danny to get pissed on by a dog. Come 4 years later, when Danny was a toddler, that his parents kept on fighting and fighting and fighting over the same darn thing until a rogue Christmas turkey ended up being sprung forth from the oven and tries to devour both Jazz and Danny, leaving Jazz to defend her kid brother from that mutated turkey, which was also why I enjoy Jazz as a character. Not only is she smart and absolutely bright as a person, but she's also someone who is proven to be skilled in martial arts, especially when she was a young girl. The manipulation, courtesy of the ghostwriter, keeps on increasing as he puts all the blame on Danny for ruining Christmas, especially when he brings all the toys and Christmas gifts to life in order to destroy him. And of course, the ghostwriter does this as revenge of what Danny did, thus making Tucker, Sam, and Jazz turn on him, as well as the other denizens of Amity Park. And sure, Danny does his best to keep fighting all these creations that the ghostwriter has bestowed upon him, and he's even determined to end the madness that the ghostwriter has brought upon him. But once he enters the ghost universe, he's even welcomed by his foes, who you might think want to destroy him, but they have this truce every holiday season that they should cast aside their differences and their animosity and enjoy the holiday season. But after the holiday season, they'll still be out for Danny's blood, thus making sure that the whole status quo in Danny Phantom maintains its balance and order. It really says something when Danny Phantom's Rogues Gallery would have this particular truce in order for them to be well-meaning towards each other and let their connections be free of animosity. But once the holiday seasons are done and over with, they will still end up being enemies and be out for Danny's blood, which I thought was a nice interplay between the camaraderie the ghosts have with Danny every festive season and their bloodlust against him when it comes to their normal lives. And they even go out to have a battle with the ghostwriter. And there's also something really hilarious when the ghostwriter tries to find something that rhymes with orange that he couldn't even think of one. Sure, syringe might count, but I don't think he even thought about it, which kind of serves to speed up the plot and resolve it through that little hiccup that the ghostwriter encountered, thus having Danny's Rogues Gallery being completely free from the spell, as well as Danny having the motivation to end this. However, there is one caveat. Danny's still rhyming, the story is still going on, and the ghostwriter, still in his mad sense of revenge and Pyrrhic victory, as he thinks, states that since Danny has destroyed the ghostwriter's contraption, especially when the ghostwriter is being hauled off to jail, he has two choices: either end up in the story universe or finish the story himself. Sure, there could have been a truce between the ghostwriter and Danny, and they could have apologized for each other's wrongdoings. And it was really unfair that the ghostwriter did end up being hauled off to jail, because Danny and the ghostwriter could have redeemed each other from their wrongdoings and probably understood that they were not so different at all in their approaches to how they took their own anger and their own animosity on what is otherwise something that they could have controlled in the first place. At least Danny is trying to rectify all of these wrongdoings, especially with the help of Skulker, Desiree, Ember, the Box Ghost, Penelope Spectra, Walker, and all the other villains of Danny Phantom. They then restore the town to its former holiday cheer, and Danny does the right thing of apologizing not only to his friends, but also to his family for being such a curmudgeon. He even gives them gifts, and everything is back to its normal holiday cheer. And poor Ghostwriter is still stuck in jail, and he has all of my sympathy because I do wish there could have been a slightly better ending for him. I do wish there could have been a truce. I do wish that there could have been something that will make him and Danny bury the hatchet. But the episode at least ended with Danny reconciling with his friends and family. So overall, Danny Phantom's The Fright Before Christmas was thoroughly enjoyable, even though there could be certain spots for improvement, such as Danny and the Ghostwriter reconciling and forgiving each other, as well as apologizing to each other for the wrongs they have done. At least this is still an action-packed and fun Christmas special. And it's even worth mentioning that all the voice actors did magnificent jobs to each of their characters. Sure, you have David Kaufman, Greta Lyle, Ricky Deshawn Collins, Jeff Bennett, Kath Soucie, Rob Paulson, Tara Strong, and Kevin Michael Richardson, just to name a few. But the major standout of this episode has to be Will Arnett as the Ghostwriter. I've been following Mr. Arnett's career for a very long time, ever since I first saw him as one of the Bluth brothers from Arrested Development, as well as heard some of his voice work as BoJack Horseman and the Lego Movie version of Batman, as well as many other great roles that he has partaken in. I have found him to be a charismatic and absolutely versatile thespian, and his work as the Ghostwriter proves that he can find a lot of dark, mysterious, eccentric, and bold colors in this particular character and make them all come to life thanks to how much he was able to inject a whole lot of charisma, a whole lot of dark charm, and a whole lot of enigma to make the Ghostwriter come alive. He also made him quite a dangerous foe to Danny with his usage of manipulating the story and making it go to his advantage, thus making him quite formidable in his own special way. And I salute Will Arnett for bringing such a great character like the Ghostwriter to life. He definitely made this episode happen, and I was completely enthralled to hear his voice be put to great use for such a phenomenal and very emphatic character, because he was also able to make me feel for him from beginning all the way up to the end. Sure, the things that the Ghostwriter has done may be impulsive, and he may have been someone who was justifiably angry, but also out for revenge against Danny of what he did to him. But regardless, he was able to make a striking impression on this fascinating character. And I also recommend this particular Christmas special to anyone who loves superhero shows as well as Danny Phantom in its entirety. If you're a fan of teen superhero shows like Teen Titans or even Smallville, you'll probably never go wrong with Danny Phantom's The Fright Before Christmas. It's enjoyable. Sure, there were flaws that could have been rectified, but I can forgive all that because this was a special that kicked a lot of ass thanks to its usage of action, tension, and of course, Will Arnett's phenomenal performance as the Ghostwriter. And for those of you who caught Danny Phantom's The Fright Before Christmas, what'd you think of it? Did you feel that Will Arnett stole the show as the Ghostwriter? Did you have a favorite moment, whether it be the story proper or the fight scenes or even the ending, which was so heartwarming? Or was there something about it that just didn't really register with you? Comment below and let me know. Well, that's all for my tribute to Danny Phantom's The Fright Before Christmas. Tune in much later for my tribute to Rocco's Modern Life's Rocco's Modern Christmas. So until then, happy holidays, everybody!